Good morning. I'm just soaking up the sun and this warm weather that we're having this week, and I hope that you get a chance to do the same because we all know what's coming. If you click on the link in the header of this video, you will see a link to the blog that I wrote this week about should statements. And this may have been something that grabbed your attention, that you knew exactly what I was talking about. For some of you, you have no idea what I mean by that. And I'm really hoping that in this video I can articulate what's been on my mind lately in my own personal self-reflection time. So my definition of a should statement is an idea or belief that you should or shouldn't be doing something based on what others or culture is telling you, even if that goes against your own convictions or belief or calling. We live in this noisy world, and we have so much information coming at us, so many voices coming at us, and it's hard to know sometimes as we're sifting through what's in our head if it's our own beliefs and convictions or callings, or if it's something that we heard from someone else that we should be doing. So if you go ahead and read the blog, on there are some examples of should statements that I have listed there. And so really, why this topic? This topic came to mind for me, started a few weeks ago when I read an article that a sweet friend posted about what we should and shouldn't be doing for our teenagers. So my oldest child is 13 and a half. And so I clicked on the article and I read through, and I think it was 10 or 15 things with all great intentions. I read this article, and it was talking about how we shouldn't be waking up our teenagers, that they should be setting alarms, and that we shouldn't be making their lunches or making their breakfast. I think it talked about chores and responsibilities and all of those things. And I just read through and I thought, wow, this is really great information. I'm totally convicted by this. Yes, I should and I shouldn't be doing the things listed here. I think I even commented, yes, totally agree. And then it just kind of sat with me for a little while, and I got thinking about it, and I realized that I was just going along with these suggestions of others without really giving it a lot of thought, because as the school year started, and I started realizing that I was going against some of what this article had posted. So I really had to take some time and think about why I was going against those things, and I felt guilty. I felt like I was doing something wrong because I wasn't doing what this article suggested. So I got to thinking about, I've done videos and blogs about core values, and I got thinking about some of those. And some of my things that are really important to me and to my family is serving my family through healthy food, and also finding nooks and crannies in my schedule where I can spend time with my kids. So in the mornings, I do wake my kids up. They don't use an alarm. I do make their breakfast and I do make their lunch. And I get completely ready for the day before they wake up, so that when they're sitting at the counter eating their breakfast and we're talking about lunches, that I have, a half an hour or so with each of my kids that I can spend with them to start their day. And when I do that out of my own values, convictions, and the leading that I feel so much better than the guilt that I felt when I was going against what the article said. So all of that to say, I'm not sure if that makes sense to all of you, but all of that to say, to really take some time to think why you're doing what you're doing. And if you're basing your choices on something somebody else has told you should or should not do. Again, there's no harm in a lot of those things. I think they're all great if they work for you and your family, but it just really got me thinking about why I do what I do. And am I doing that, again, because that's what I truly feel led to do, or am I doing that because somebody or something in culture has told me to do it? So I would just really encourage you to take a read of the blog. There's so much more information in there. And be thinking about the weight that we're carrying around with these should statements. So for instance, should statements around weight or size or clothing, should statements around sharing opinions. A lot of should statements can come from religion, and just different people voicing certain things and feeling like that's what you need to do versus really digging in to God's word and seeing where he's leading you. So I encourage you to read through that and really asking yourself if you're living out of your authentic self, or are you living out of the beliefs and should statements that others are placing on you, sometimes with good intentions. And truly, are you being all that God created you to be by living out of your own values, your own beliefs, your own convictions, and your own callings? So I'd love to hear your comments if you have any. And again, take a read of that blog, and I look forward to being on here next week. Have a great weekend.